EA has been putting out a product they don't care about, but instead they need to virtue signal and link themselves to this brand because it's hot in the streets right now. But they will know the laws of the land, and that is, the whom is woketh shall go broketh. Vigilante Williamson here with a very simple question. Where in the world are EA's priorities? In the latest update of Madden 21, they have put Colin Kaepernick in the video game. If that wasn't controversial enough, he is one of the top 15 QBs in terms of rating. And if that wasn't controversial enough, Madden 21 is the worst rated game by fans of all time. It's a .02 rating, which is down from the .03 rating it was reported as last week. This game is fundamentally broken, but they're busy virtue signaling with Colin Kaepernick and giving him a higher rating than these QBs. I haven't played Madden in years because it's been broken for years, but he's apparently in the top 15 of QBs. Colin Kaepernick. How is this going to fix Madden? Shouldn't your biggest focus be how do we get the fans of this game back on the same page as us? But no, we had to virtue signal. And Colin Kaepernick, you know, a little bit about how I felt about him, or feel about him. Initially, I thought it was okay. You know what I mean? This is a country full of free speech. I thought, you know, whatever, but I didn't know what he was specifically protesting. I didn't know what his end game was because there wasn't one. But I would say, okay, free speech. And Marshawn Lynch had been doing it, you know, for a while beforehand, and he never got any blame or credit or anything. They just ignored that Marshawn Lynch did it all together. So I didn't really care too much about it, and plus it's a corporate thing anyway. But he made a big deal. He kneeled because he kneeled for black people, I guess. Again, what are the specifics? What do you actually want? What are you kneeling for? He's kneeling for tweets. He's kneeling for likes. He's kneeling to get $20 million from the XFL, which is what he wanted from the XFL. $20 million. That's what he's kneeling for. And do not forget, he did have a potential job offer with the Ravens, but his girlfriend called Ray Lewis a house, you know what, or maybe you don't. You'll have to Google that. And then you had this tryout, which it was a little shadiness on both sides, but if you read through this, and I'll link this article of this trial that's happened last year, or the trial that didn't happen last year, in which there was a lot of kerfluffle about a waiver. To be quite frank, I don't think the NFL wanted him back, and I don't think he wanted to come back because he had already become Colin Kaepernick, the job martyr. And I thought that would have been more beneficial to him than to come back and just be a backup QB, which is what he would have been. Don't get me wrong, there are some terrible QBs in the league, and he definitely could have started over a lot of them, especially as a backup, especially once the backups got in for injuries, things like that. There's a lot of QBs who his talent level, even diminished, would have been equivalent or greater than, because there are some just terrible quarterbacks in the league. I do even believe that he was colluded against not to be in the league. That said, he also caused the league a lot of damage, and he cost them a lot of money. So I understand why they didn't. And I know everyone has their own opinion about Kaepernick. I'm not, despite what you may think on this channel, I'm not some anti-woke guy. I'm a centrist. I feel like Colin Kaepernick is currently a corporate activist. He acts on behest of Nike, who's in bed with China, and I'll do another video. I'm not sure which order everything's going to release, but I have another video on China and that crap. I don't think he's genuine. I'm not saying he was never genuine. I'm not saying he didn't start off genuine. I think actually he did. I think he just started off not knowing what the hell he was getting himself into, and when it became a movement and he had people all around him, he got a little lost in that. I'm being fair to Kaepernick. But at a certain point, he became a corporate activist who knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to keep his little movement going. He has a huge following on Twitter. It wouldn't surprise me if some of his fans are watching this video telling me how much I suck. I understand that. I think he was a corporate activist. I think whatever genuine nature of his wanting the betterment of black people, it was a very rudimentary belief system in general, which is just police bad, police oppress, and there was no end game. There was no specific thing. We want this from police. We want police reform laws passed. It was just police bad, I protest. And then it became a corporate thing. Nike got all behind it because they want you to focus on this racial injustice Nike does, not the racial injustice that goes on in the country that makes them the most money. No. Please ignore that. And he made it a brand, for better or for worse. Now Madden, EA, has attached themselves to that brand in a game that is fundamentally broken and has not been added on for years. In fact, you can still see panels and assets from previous games in this game. And that's not even uncommon, because that's going on, where you can find assets from old games and current games. EA has been putting out a product they don't care about, but instead they need to virtue signal and link themselves to this brand because it's hot in the streets right now. But they will know the laws of the land, and that is, the whom is woketh shall go broketh. I'm not saying there's no exceptions to this rule. Captain Marvel exists, there are exceptions, but for the most part, if you go woke, you go broke, and in this case, it's literal because the game is broken. That is the video. Thank you for watching it. Love me or hate me, let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, please like the video. If you are so obliged to share or subscribe, I would appreciate it. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching and thank you for your time.